The wasteland, vast, lethal, and without order. Although countless amounts of tribes have appeared over the years, trying to subdue the merciless wastes, one man's ruthless ambition has managed to bring the lands from Arizona all the way to the Colorado River to bend to his will. But how did the merciless ruler of the Legion, Caesar, elevate himself to be in such a powerful position in the wasteland? To understand the Legion, we must first know how it came to be. Caesar's actual name is Edward Sallow. He was born in the Boneyard in 2226, interestingly enough as an NCR citizen, and in 2231 he was admitted into the Followers of the Apocalypse after he and his mother fled after raiders killed his father. The Followers of the Apocalypse differ greatly from most of the crazy cults that the Wasteland has to offer. The Followers' main goal is knowledge, both past and present, similar to the Brotherhood of Steel, as they greatly value pre-war technology, but unlike the Brotherhood, they are willing to share their knowledge and support the ideals of pacifism and cooperation. Being part of the Followers entitled Caesar to free education, which enabled him to read and write, and led to him becoming a scribe for the Followers. It's hard to believe that a ruthless leader like Caesar could have come from such an understanding group such as the Followers. The Followers also keep records on present day and study the tribes that the Wasteland has to offer. It was during an exhibition to Arizona to study tribal dialects when Caesar met Joshua Graham. During this expedition, the 20-year-old Sallow was disgusted by how the tribals lived, and he felt as if it was his job to civilize these wild people. Meanwhile, he found ancient pre-war books about the Roman Empire, first about the fall of Rome and another about Caesar's war in Gaul. These books taught Sallow a great deal, but where others may have seen an empire doomed to fall upon itself, Sallow saw much of himself in Caesar. And, at that point, he started his ideological views of a wasteland empire, a new Rome, with him as the undisputed ruler. Less than a year into the expedition, Sallow and Graham were taken hostage by the Blackfoot tribe for a ransom. The tribe was at war with several other tribes in the local area and were heavily outnumbered. Seizing the moment, Sallow and Graham, in a last-ditch attempt to save themselves from being wiped out along with the Blackfoot tribe, started training them. Techniques such as weapon maintaining and explosives making, as well as using some techniques they learnt from Sallow's new books. The Blackfoot, impressed by Sallow's knowledge, and their victories that would not have been achieved if not for them, made him their new leader. At this point, Sallow would be known as Caesar, and would begin dedicating his life to creating his new Rome. With Caesar backed by Graham and in complete control, they quickly conquered the several tribes. The strongest of the tribes were taken and assimilated into either soldiers for the new legion or enslaved. The weakest was shown no mercy. Anyone who was incapable of fighting was killed. By 2250, Caesar named himself Son of Mars, the Roman god of war, and settled his capital city in Flagstaff. By the time his scouts discovered New Vegas, the Legion had assimilated 86 tribes, and had a very significant military force. The Legion's numbers swell whenever they conquer another tribe. After conquering a tribe, multiple things may happen. If a tribe is strong and able, it will likely be taken into the Legion. The tribe's heritage destroyed, and the men will become soldiers, so that other tribes will succumb to the same fate. If a tribe is tenacious and fights against the Legion, its inhabitants will either become slaves to serve the ever-expanding empire. If they persist, then they will be wiped out. Either way, whatever once was of the tribe is destroyed. Enslaved men tend to fight in the Legion, with the simple motivation that it's better to face the enemy's guns than the Legion's whips. Rebellious slaves may find themselves fighting in an arena for Caesar's amusement, or strung up on an old pre-war telephone pole, crucified. Women in the Legion are not seen as equals, and are therefore banned from any combatant roles. Women tend to be used as healers or midwives, or are used to ensure that there's a next generation to fight for their new Rome. Although Caesar has a fond look upon Rome's methods of warfare, he does not limit his troops to melee weapons. If a machete fails to do the trick, legionaries will happily pull out the latest ballistic weaponry. But, although willing to use modern weapons, the legions look on other technologies, such as narcotics, is frowned upon and therefore banned. A tribe that relies on meds too much will be wiped out. Although the legion is villainified by most, life in legion-controlled territory is good, at least for those who aren't slaves. Traders don't require guards when travelling through legion land, but, like the original Rome, its wealth is built off the backs of slaves. Caesar's conquest reached from Arizona all the way to Colorado, but in 2277, when they spotted the prize of the Hoover Dam and the glimmering city of New Vegas, they finally found a worthy match. The NCR had taken control of the dam and was defending it with rangers. Led by Graham, the legion descended upon the dam and for a while had the upper hand with superior numbers, and Graham managed to take the dam. The NCR ordered a tactical retreat, where the bulk of the NCR forces fled to Boulder City. Meanwhile, the Rangers used precision rifles to kill Centurions to confuse the chain of command. Graham, who was unaware of the NCR's deception, led his legionaries across the dam instead of securing it. He believed that the NCR was weaker than they first anticipated, and that he would be able to completely remove the NCR from the Mojave in one battle. When the Legion pursued the NCR into Boulder City, the NCR detonated caches of C4 all around the city, severely crippling the Legion's troops. They then led a counter-offensive and retook the dam. Graham was forced to return to Caesar, unvictorious. Despite how Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning of his legion, he was made an example of. Caesar had his men set Graham alight and throw him off the edge of the Grand Canyon. Some say that they saw a man leaving the Grand Canyon that day, a burnt man. Whilst the first battle of the dam was lost, Caesar still controls the land east of the Colorado River, but he remains at a halt until he can overcome his greatest enemy yet, the NCR.